Hi, my loves. Welcome to Gemini season. This is your invitation to step into the realm of lightness, of thought, of curiosity, of ever shifting inspiration. This is a season that flickers like a light across the mind, where words take flight, where ideas multiply and the breath of life moves through us. Gemini is a season of movement, but it's a movement of thought, of inspiration, of connection. It is this dance of language and questions, curiosity and presence. As a mutable sign of the zodiac, Gemini moves and adapts and plays. So we are emerging from the grounded stillness of Taurus season, where we really rooted in our bodies and connected with the tangible of that which is real. And now we're invited to open the windows, to breathe in some fresh air, and let our thoughts carry us away with the breeze. Taurus season rooted us, it grounded us. And now Gemini season, it frees us. Let this season just move through your mind, your stories, your calendar, your conversations. This is a fresh perspective. This is a season that is here to remind you that nothing is fixed. Everything is for now. And that's okay. That everything can change and you are allowed to change. You're allowed to be adaptable and to be flexible. And Gemini teaches us that change itself can be a lightness, that it doesn't have to be heavy, that we can all be light on our feet, that there is laughter in medicine, and that fresh air is sometimes most healing of them all. And so, welcome back to the Bell Astrology Podcast. I am your host and astrologer, Ashley, and today let's pop the cork on another bubbly and bright season of light where conversation is refreshing and curiosity is king. Now, to really understand this season of Gemini, we need to really get acquainted with the archetype of Gemini. And so Gemini is the first of the air signs in the zodiac. So along with Libra and Aquarius, these three make up our air signs. And air signs live within the realm of thought and ideas and intellect. And they connect through ideas rather than emotions. And so Gemini is the social, the quick-witted, the fast and deeply curious sign of the zodiac. They are ruled by the planet Mercury. Mercury is the planet of communication, of technology. Mercury rules our thought processes, the way that we perceive and really intuit the world around us through our mind. And so this is the planet of communication and technology and information. And so it's no wonder that there are so many Geminis in this world that are very proficient in writing and speaking and teaching and anything that really allows them to verbally express themselves, communicate, to speak, and to share. This is the sign of the messenger. And so if you look at the symbol for Gemini, the glyph, it is two horizontal lines, and they are bridged by two vertical lines. And this vertical connection between heaven and earth is connected by Gemini. Gemini, this really tells us everything about this sign because Gemini is like a channel. It's a channel connecting back and forth between the heavens and the earth. And so this is why Geminis as a channel can really download information and speak ideas and speak them into the world. They are visionaries because they see things through their mind. There's a lot of very talented artists and designers who are Geminis because they can see a vision in their mind and they're able to bring it into this reality. And so they're super fast, they're super curious. Their curiosity is truly boundless. And yes, sometimes that means that they may bounce from idea to idea or have so many things that they want to start and be involved with, very multitasking. This is an energy that, or a part of them, where they're able to really scatter their energy. Now, in a uncontrolled or a, untethered relationship with that energy, their thoughts can be scattered and their actions can be scattered. And so, what is really powerful in a fully embodied Gemini is that movement within this sign in themselves is a powerful truth. This sign came here to gather information, to study it, to play with ideas, to try them all on and truly experience them. And with all of that energy, then to teach us what they've learned. Teach us something new. Gemini came to inspire us to really think. And so if we zoom out and we look at where we are at right now in the astrological year, we started the year with Aries season. And Aries season was the spark. It sparked our desire and our courage. It got us going. It started the year. We just wrapped up Taurus season, which really grounded us into our bodies and encouraged us to build something lasting. And now here comes Gemini to start asking the questions, to start connecting the dots, to really learn and explore and communicate. And so Gemini, like I said, is a mutable air sign. The other mutable signs in the zodiac are Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. So the mutable signs come along at very specific times during the year when we are going to transition into a new season. So they help us to really let go of what we were holding on to and get us ready to start adapting to a new season because change is coming. These signs are very changeable, they're adaptable, and they help us to align our energy with that so that we can fully engage when we get to that new season. And so Gemini moves us from spring into summer. Summer will officially start with Cancer season, but now we need to wrap up what we were doing in spring and start to align with the energy of summer. And that is such an energy of Gemini, beginning of summer, the late nights and the fun and the connecting and all of that just fun stuff that summer brings. Well, Gemini is coming in and getting us all excited about that. That's the energy of Gemini. It's a season of transition and quickening, and social energy starts to really blossom. We get this new, fresh energy every time that Gemini season comes around. I always picture Gemini as the busy receptionist desk at a creative agency. She's witty. She's got 3 screens open in front of her with 50 tabs going on each. She's smoozing with the clients in the lobby. She's engaging with and chatting with her coworkers. She does TikTok lives on her lunch break. She's got a finger on the pulse of everything. You want to know what's trending? Talk to a Gemini. You want to hear both sides of a story? Talk to a Gemini. Looking to be inspired? Talk to a Gemini. Gemini is symbolized by the twins. There is a multifaceted duality, multiplicity to this sign. It's multifaceted, and sometimes they get a bad rap because of that, for being inconsistent or uncommitted or shallow. The thing about that, though, is Gemini did not come here to embody one identity. They came here to live many lives, to experiment and to explore and to be a little bit of everything. And so they shift effortlessly between different aspects of themselves because they're trying everything on. They are information gatherers. They are very much, they have an insatiable curiosity and they want to experience it all. They want to gather their experiences and then they want to share with us what they have learned. And so that's also why you're going to see so many Geminis that are teachers, especially elementary school level teachers. They're animated, they're curious, they're inspiring. They literally came here to inspire us by asking all the questions, encouraging others to speak, pulling out words, and getting everyone to, be social and engage in conversation and explore ideas. And so Gemini is back up here. So Gemini's sister sign is Sagittarius. So both of these, Gemini and Sagittarius, these are sister signs. They're opposite signs in the zodiac wheel. And so Gemini, where Gemini really flirts with ideas, Sagittarius, the opposite sign, is the sign that is seeking a deeper meaning. Gemini zooms into all the details and is curious about everything that's happening right now in their field of vision, whereas Sagittarius zooms out and wants to look at the bigger picture. And so together, these two signs remind us that knowledge and wisdom and these two things are the same signs, are two sides of the same coin. I'm getting lost in my words in this. I need my Gemini energy to really come through. Well, maybe that's the problem. Maybe there's so many ideas and so many things I want to say that I just can't even get it all out of my mouth. But together, Gemini and Sagittarius remind us that knowledge and wisdom are two sides of the same coin. And so when you talk about one sign, you're always talking about the other. Signs that are opposite sister signs always are connected through the same thread of energy. And so Gemini gathers facts while Sagittarius seeks truth. Where Gemini communicates, Sagittarius believes. One teaches through questions and the other teaches through experience. You can't have one without the other. And so together, this is the student and the philosopher, the teacher and the traveler. And so this real education, belief access, information access between Geminis and Sagittarius. When I'm talking about Gemini, specifically in the classroom, actually, if I'm talking about air signs, to be honest, really we're air signs in the classroom as students, as kids, especially Geminis. These are the bubbly and the witty and the curious kids in class. They're the ones that are always going to be talking. They're curious. They're asking questions. They may be a little bit antsy, but these students are brilliant. These kids need to be engaged, not silenced. They honestly, the worst thing that you could say to a Gemini or an air sign is, why are you talking so much? Because talking is their gift. They came here to inspire us. They came here to spark ideas and to keep the conversations flowing. One day, I believe that astrology will be a language that is spoken in schools, that teachers will be armed with their students' birth charts, and they can really understand how every sign brings a different magic into the classroom. Where they're air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, they are the social, the sharp ones. They're always thinking, and we want to keep them curious. We don't want to dampen that. We want to see their minds light up. The fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, they're going to be the bold, loud, expressive ones, full of energy and movement, that are going to live for recess and experiments and school plays, anything that lets them move their bodies. And these two elements, the fire and the air signs, they're going to be the ones that really fuel each other in the classroom. They're going to fuel each other with energy and with ideas. So maybe these are the students that you don't really want sitting next to each other, because they're going to be a distraction. There's going to be this constant hum of energy between them. So you need one of the water signs or the air signs to kind of balance them out, because the water signs, your Cancer, your Scorpio, your Pisces, they're going to be the sensitive ones. They're going to be the ones that may not raise their hand first. but when they do speak, it comes from this beautiful depth and this emotional well, and they are the ones that are going to feel everything. They're super sensitive and sweet, so you want to give them time and safety and a space where they can really share what's inside. And then, of course, for the earth children, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, these are truly the teacher's dream. These are the grounded, the rule following, the reliable students in class. And when they come into class, they're the ones they love structure and they live for routines. And they're going to be the ones who partner so beautifully with those water signs. So next time you see a kid that's talking a lot, don't rush to quiet them, because you want to check their chart. Maybe they are a Gemini rising and they have something very important to say. Now, Gemini in the chart itself, if you were born with your sun in Gemini, Gemini is your core identity. You're going to be someone who's curious and communicative, and you came here to really experience all the facets of life, to be super curious, to talk about them, to really crave that, to lean into those cravings for mental stimulation. You're here to learn and to share and to move. If your moon is in Gemini, then your emotional life is filtered through thought in your mind. You might process your feelings best by talking about them, getting them out. And mental stimulation is going to be how you emotionally regulate your system. Deep conversations are going to be as important as intimacy. Your literal word of, or your love language is literally words of affirmation. And if you are a Gemini rising, well, this episode, all of this is your vibe. You are here to really inspire us, to make us think, and you're witty, you're curious, you give off this mental agility that we can just feed on, and you are a connector. You're here to spark ideas and to engage with the world around you. And so even if you aren't a Gemini sun, moon, or rising, we all have Gemini in a specific area in our chart, an area of our life that's ruled by Gemini. So when you look at the house where you have Gemini, that is the area of life that's going to be lit up right now while we are in Gemini season. It's the area of life where you want to really stay curious, where you want to communicate and adapt. So if you have Gemini in your 10th house of career, your career path may be ever changing. It may be eclectic. You may be a designer or a visionary, but you will most likely not stay in one place too long. There's so many things you want to do, and it's your prerogative, your permission to do all those things, because that's what you came here for. That is the energy that rules over your career. You are here to explore. You're not here to simply stick in one lane. So let me share with you how this shows up for me, where Gemini is in my chart, because even though I am a sun in Scorpio, I've got a moon in Pisces, Gemini plays a really important role, specific role in how I move through life for my day-to-day activities as well as my relationships. So in my birth chart, Gemini rules over my seventh house of relationships. So I don't have any placements here in the seventh house, but I feel this so deeply because even though I'm a very deep and loyal and committed Scorpio, I've been married before. I am in my second marriage, my final marriage, but I also have had many significant relationships over the course of my life. Relationships have been a deep central theme for me. And in Gemini, in my seventh house, what this means, or what relationship energy that I need and that I crave, is relationships that keep me mentally stimulated, that are built on the foundation of curiosity and conversation and ideas and variety. All these are necessary ingredients to how I deeply connect with someone in a relationship. So even in the deepest, most soulful partnerships that I have in my life, They don't have to just all be relationships that are romantic, by the way. They can be friendships and work relationships and all kinds of partnerships. But I need that spark of wit. I need play. I need mental exchange. And I need that to feel alive and engaged in a relationship. Now, Gemini also starts in my sixth house. It doesn't rule my sixth house, but a lot of my sixth house is also Gemini. And so that means Gemini really influences my daily routines, my work life, my wellness, how I show up and serve in the world. And so I also have in Gemini in my sixth house is my Chiron. And so this is the asteroid that represents our core wound this lifetime and how we heal ourselves and then in turn heal others. And so Chiron and Gemini in the sixth house. This has shown up in many ways for me. I am not someone who thrives on a strict routine. I love routine. I shouldn't say I love routine. I need routine. I have Saturn on my sun, and I crave, even though I crave variety and I crave freedom to mix things up. I have Saturn on my sun, which gives me this really strong respect for discipline. But I've had to learn how to soften that rigidity, to give myself permission to allow more flexibility in my routine because I get bored. I love my routine, but then I really beat it to death. And I need variety to keep me going and keep me in a routine. I need a routine of variety, if that makes sense. I realize that my routines don't have to be rigid, they don't have to be perfect, but they just need to support me in the way that my energy flows during the day. And so what this Chiron in Gemini placement in my sixth house has also brought up for me is a lot around my voice. So since Gemini is the sign of communication, having Chiron here has meant that finding my voice, trusting it, has been part of my life's journey. This is a wound for me. I've struggled with self-doubt around speaking, about being heard, about expressing myself clearly. And so even just through creating this podcast, connecting with others through astrology readings, sharing my voice in a very public way, it's not just a career choice for me. This is me working on a healing practice. Every time that I hit record on a podcast episode, I'm working with that Chiron wound. And I'm getting better at it every time. But it's still a wound. It's still painful. And so Chiron also links to loss for me, especially because this is the sixth house. The sixth house is also the house of pets. And so if you know my story and you know how I got started, there is something so deeply spiritual in the connection that I have with animals, and one in particular. And that I have found that part of my service this lifetime is to bridge the physical and the spiritual, especially through my intuition and mediumship, especially through connecting with animals. And those that are living and those that have passed, this is part of that calling that I have. And though it hasn't been fully embodied yet, fully revealed, it's something that I am leaning into more and more. So, as the sun moves through Gemini this season, and it's lighting up these areas of my chart, I'm tuning into what wants to shift in my daily life as well as my relationships. That's what's being highlighted. I'm going to look to add, or not look to add, but just let it flow. Let in more inspiration and freshness come in. The downloads that I receive, really paying attention to those as it pertains to my routines, trying new recipes, things that are healthy, and new ways to take care of my body, and changing, allowing myself the freedom to change my structure of my day-to-day work. my commitment to this podcast and giving myself grace as I keep finding my voice and trusting it more. Those are the things that I'm going to be cognizant of as the sun is traveling through my sixth house. And when it reaches my seventh house towards the latter half of Gemini season, it's time to bring in that same curiosity and that same inspiration and energy into my marriage, into my relationship with my husband, connecting with him in very intellectual and playful ways. Gemini loves variety and conversation and movement. And so planning summer vacations and dates and getting outside and trying new things, really focusing on keeping the dialogue between us open and engaging and light and connected. That is what Gemini season represents for me. And so here's my invitation for you. Take a look at where you have Gemini, where it falls in your chart, which area of life is being highlighted for you right now. That area of your life wants to light up right now. It wants your curiosity. It wants your questions. Gemini season gives us permission to explore and to play and to shift things that have gotten stagnant. So really allow yourself to follow that spark of energy. And so some of the themes that you want to notice and be cognizant of as we are going through this season is a heightened cognitive energy. You know, you're going to experience some bursts of creative insight. Lean into that. There is a definite energy around social events and connecting socially with others. So if you are feeling called to hang out with your besties or reconnect with a long lost friend or family member, this is the season to do that. And to really lean into playfulness and curiosity. Ask questions and let your insatiable mind be your compass. There is definitely a desire to learn and to share and to talk. And so shout out to all of my book club girlies out there. I have so many books on my TBR list right now. I don't know how I'm going to fit them all in, but Gemini season is a book girlie's dream. We get to connect socially, we get to talk about books, we get to read, we get to, expand our TBR list. It is truly a book girlie's dream, and that is one of my favorite things. And so this is the perfect time if you have been feeling the pull or the draw to start something new, to take a course, to read that book, to finally start studying astrology. And you can learn astrology from me with my digital course, Embody Your Astrology, where I teach you how to read your own birth chart. I teach you the basics of astrology so you can start to incorporate it into your daily life. And you can start that course now. What a perfect way to honor your Gemini season by really feeding your mind with astrology. You can start the course now at ashleybelastrology.com. It's under courses. It's called Embody Your Astrology. You can get started with that today. There is just so much to be excited about during Gemini season. One, I can't wait to meet all of you Geminis because it's your birthday season. Happy solar return to Geminis. And you get 15% off your reading when you book a session with me during your birthday month. All you have to do is plug in the code solar return, which is all one word, when you check out at ashleybelastrology.com. Sign up for the reading that you want, plug in your little code, and if it's your birthday month, you get 15% off. It's my little gift to you. I cannot wait to meet you, Geminis. Just head over to ashleybelastrology.com. Now, a little word of caution. As we have talked about all things Gemini, there is a high energy with this season and this sign, and so you're just going to want to watch for having maybe a scattered focus, or when you kind of your mind outpaces yourself and you find that you're having racing thoughts, or you can't fit in all the commitments that you said yes to. Just be cautious of that. It can have a little bit of a nervous energy effect to it. So take care of your body, take time outs to breathe and assess all the things that you've decided that you're going to start, all the projects that are now going to blossom and bloom, and all of the things that you've signed up on your social calendar. Just be mindful, take care of yourself. And of course, since Gemini likes to talk about everything, watch your gossip over this season. That is a little faux pas of Gemini season. So a few other things to take note of. Some really big astrological things this season. Write these down. Each of these will have their own podcast coming up so we can talk about them in depth. But these are some really important dates to note as we go through the season. So on May 24th, this one is huge. Coming up next week, or actually on Sunday, May 24th, Saturn moves into Aries. This is huge. This is a whole new cycle. It's a whole new beginning, a cycle of leadership and self-mastery. This is a personal initiation. So you're not going to want to miss this episode. We're going to talk all about this. And if you are someone between the ages of 18 and 30, I need you to come talk to me because you are entering your Saturn return. So we need to talk about what is in store for you and how to navigate this beautiful season of your Saturn return. I know there is so much fear-mongering out there around your Saturn return and those events, but trust me, as someone with Saturn on her sun, the more you make friends with your Saturn placement, the easier these life transitions go. So book with me. Let's chat about your Saturn return if you're between the ages of 28 and 30. Now on May 26th, we have the Gemini moon. And so this is where we're going to plant those seeds of intention all around connection and inspiration and curiosity and the new spark of life that Gemini brings into all of our lives. Then on June 9th, Jupiter enters Cancer. So this is going to begin a year-long expansion of emotional wisdom, nurturing ourselves, nourishing ourselves. I'm really excited about this one. And then on June 11th, we have the full moon in Sagittarius. So truth rises under that over the fiery horizon in the sky. You're going to want to be ready for insight and revelations and a really deeper understanding of where you're at right now. So as we close off this episode, just remember, Gemini season is a season to connect, to learn, to be inspired, and to really breathe. This is the element of air. Let your curiosity carry you away like a breeze on the wind. Let your mind move and let your voice be heard. Let yourself play. If you loved today's episode and want to explore more about this magical season, I'd love to connect with you. Come find me over on Instagram. My handle is @AshleyBellAstrology, or sign up for my newsletter at ashleybellastrology.com. I've got a lot of exciting things coming up, from local events and in-person readings that I'm working on. And I am working my butt off to keep you informed on all of the wild and exciting astrology that's coming up this year. Since I have been practicing professionally, this is the most monumental, the most exciting, change-driven year astrologically that we have experienced. And so like you, I want to be prepared. I want to be prepared with the facts and the tools to navigate, and so I'm going to share those with you because that is what astrology provides us. It provides us a forecast so that we can prepare in the ways that we choose to, that are right for us. And so if you want to explore, as always, how this Gemini energy is showing up in your chart, I would love to read for you. Just go over to ashleybellastrology.com because Gemini season is the perfect season to book an astrology reading, to get insights on your path, your gifts, and talk about all the wonderful things that are coming up next for you. I am so thankful that you're here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Happy Gemini season. From my heart to yours. Bye for now.